Welcome back to The Huddle on 840 Fox Sports Radio. The Huddle brought to you by 956sports.com, powered by our friends at Mickey D's. Da-da-da-da-da.
I'm loving it.
And a little bit of this if you're watching on the show this morning. If you're watching us online, that's helping power the show as well. Hey, we've got head coach Bill Littleton of the McCallum Memorial Mustangs joining us here in The Huddle. Coach, good morning, sir.
Y'all done?
Doing great. How are you?
Good.
How is your off-season coming along, shall we say?
Well, all season's going really well, and we're 8 days into spring ball, and things are looking good.
And the team is looking well in spring ball?
Yes, sir, we are. We have got a lot of depth there, and we're really excited about what we see going on at the Mustang camp.
How will life be post-Kaufman?
Well, it'll be different at all. You know, anytime you lose a kid of that magnitude, you always you're not going to replace that type of kid. We got some good prospects coming in. We feel good about them, and they're not going to be Matthew. They're going to be themselves, and we don't expect them to be Matthew. We just want them to be themselves and lead this football team back to the playoffs. That's
got to be one of the hardest things to convince all these kids that are coming up is, hey, he's his own person. We want you to be your own person. Just be equally as good.
Well, I don't think it's so much with the kids. I think it's more with the fans and the expectations in the community, you know. Everybody's always going to compare you when you have a player, you know, like after Bradley graduated, everybody compared their running backs to Bradley. And, you know, we had some good ones come through there, and they had to be their own people, and that's what we're expecting out of our quarterbacks.
You mean pressure from parents and fans? Does that really happen?
Well, not so much pressure, just, you know, anytime you say, well, he's not Matthew, Matthew would have done that different. But, you know, those kids are going to be fine.
I'm sure they will. The system doesn't change.
Do what now?
The system won't change. It's just the players.
No, just the system never changes. It's the players.
Attaboy. You're up in Austin right now, I understand, right?
Yeah, I'm up at the state draft meet. In fact, Madeline Goffin is pole vaulting today at 3 o'clock for the Mustangs, and we're up here to support her and watch a little bit of track and field.
Who would you say is a better athlete, Madeline or Matthew?
Well, they're both equally good at what they do. You know? I'll say this: Matthew didn't make it to the state meeting. Madeline did. So,
when you run for office, can I be part of your campaign team? Because you're very diplomatic this morning. You have the All-Star football game coming up as well, right?
Yes, sir, we do. The Rio Grande Valley Coaches Association. We're going to put on the All-Star game, East versus West, next week at 7 o'clock at Westco Bobby Morrow Stadium.
It's going to be next week, next Saturday the 19th at Westco's Bobby Morrow Stadium. Tell me about the players that you guys have selected.
Well, I think we got some really outstanding players on both sides, you know, on both teams. We like to think it's the best players in the Valley. You know, that process always, you always have people disagree with you on that. But, you know, coaches nominate players, and we have a selection committee that selects those players, and it's based on what they did this season. And we go from there, and our kids have been in camp at San Benito for a week and also at Donna, and I think they're ready to go. I've been hearing good things out of both camps.
Will you be doing any of the coaching?
No, I'm the president of the Rio Grande Valley Coaches Association. I'll just be making sure everything goes off well.
And everything runs smoothly.
Yes, sir.
You know, a few years ago, they had a media-type tournament, and I'm not going to mention any names, but he's sitting in the room with me, ended up winning the media-type event at halftime. Will there be something like that this year?
I don't think we're having anything like that this year. We did that one year, and we just couldn't get any media people come back. You know.
I wouldn't, after what I did to them, I wouldn't come back, Coach.
I don't know if I'd want to put Jake out there again because I had to retire after that year. I think I blew out my socket or something along the way. So
yeah, it took you about 15 minutes, though, about 10 balls.
Well, that's because you invited those radio people.
I thought it was the newspaper guys that held.
Oh
us
yeah,
back.
it was the newspaper.
I think it was the TV people that slowed things down. If I remember right.
Coach, if somebody wants to get some tickets for the game, how can they go about doing that?
Well, the tickets will be on sale. We're going to have some pre-sale tickets in Westco. I don't know exactly when Coach Rojas is going to put those on sale, but he did tell me last week that they are going to sell some pre-sale tickets. So I feel sure you probably just go by the athletic director's office there in Westco, and you can probably purchase those, or you can buy them there at the gate. You know, they'll be on sale at the gate.
And it's one last opportunity to get a look at the future of Valley football. You know, on a Saturday night, shall we say?
Well, it's one more time for our seniors in the Valley to play a football game, and those kids are really excited about it, and they've been having a lot of fun. I think it's always a fun time. I got to coach that game in '07, and it's a fun time. You get to meet a lot of different players, and you realize how much talent there is in the Valley when you bring them all together and get them on one team.
Hey, Coach, I know a lot of people that were football fans wanted to see you guys Memorial and Harlingen play this year, but in the All-Star games, you get to see Kaufman versus Ledesma. Is that something that Kaufman's been kind of looking forward to?
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't really talked to him so much about that. I know he's having a fun time with his teammates out there. There's several Memorial Mustangs on that team, and he gets to play with his teammates one more time. Plus, he's getting to play with a lot of people that tackled him and a lot of people that he saw run up and down the field. So it's always fun. I know they're having a good time.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing you next Saturday night there at Bobby Morrow Stadium in Weslaco and for the All-Star game. And, Coach, best of luck during spring football. We'll look forward to having you on in the fall again.
All right, not a problem. Appreciate y'all having us on, and we'll see you next Saturday night there at the Bobby Morrow Stadium.
Hey, safe travels back from Austin, and best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Head coach Bill Littleton of the McCallum Memorial Mustangs joining us here in the huddle on 840 Fox Sports Radio. Always good, when the man can come out and say, hey, who's the better athlete, Matthew or Madeline? Well, they're both tremendous in what they do. Oh, here comes the coach speak, but then he throws it in.
Yep.
Matthew never made it to state, though, so we'll see how that works out for him. And best of luck to all the athletes up at the state tournament in Austin. Is it track and field this week?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So best of luck to him.
Yeah, Matthew coming out of 8th grade was one of the better pole vaulters in the area. So he was actually really good. I mean, I remember he competed in the summers in those national or those what do they call like AAU type
right
track and field teams,
right,
stuff like that. So I mean, he was very good.
You ever have that moment where you're sitting next to somebody and you're going, I know this person,
mm-hmm.
I've seen this person, and I'm, especially me, I'm horrible with names. I mean, even anybody could tell you that, if I introduce you to my wife, it's because I don't remember. Oh, hey, what's up? This is my wife, Miriam, and then that's when I'm trying to figure out what your name is. I just have that knack. When I see somebody, though, I'll remember them, and I'll be like, okay, now I got to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Well, I'm at a road game the other day, at a baseball game, and I'm sitting next to the Kaufmans. Mrs. Kaufman, Madeline Kaufman and Coach Kaufman, and I'm sitting next to him like, man, this guy looks familiar, and I'm just rolling through the memory banks. Who is this guy? And I'm trying to figure it out and put the pieces, and we're having a discussion. He's offering me food. Hey, you want some of this? I'm good, thanks, I appreciate it. And it's just one of the, and it's like, oh man, who is this guy? So at the end of the night, my son goes, hey, so what were you and Coach Kaufman talking about? And I looked and I was like, that's who he is. We only had him in studio
the whole
for 2 hours the other day. I'm going to, I got to reach out to him. I want to talk to him a little bit more. And I couldn't, for the life of me. Somebody could have held a gun to my head and said, identify to the man to your left. And I'd be like that. No.
They're all the way home going, why wouldn't he want any of our food? I don't get it. I thought me and Tony were friends, man. He didn't even act like he even knew who I was.
Well, I have to apologize now. I did apologize to Mama Kaufman. I saw her. I was like, it's just, I know a couple people. And
it was late. I had a couple.
There was no question of my sobriety, thank goodness, because that would have been a sure sign.
We do question that. Okay?
And that's the worst part too, especially if you're alone and you don't recognize the person and you don't have your spouse there. Because with my wife, I go, oh hey, I don't know if you've met my wife. This is my wife, Jill. And then, I'm waiting for them to kind of...
Yeah.
You're listening in, what's...
Hurry, say your name.
Yeah. And then oh, yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe and I, we finally, it finally clicks. But I have to do that. And then when I'm alone, it's the worst thing in the world. Hey, how are you? Hey, buddy, I haven't seen you forever.
Hal.
Waiting for the name or something like that.
Guy, how you doing, guy?
Oh, I hate Guy. I hate Guy with a passion, dude.
I got a friend that calls everyone Ace and Darlin. It don't matter. He doesn't even know their names. That's just what. Hey, I'm not gonna remember you, so you're just gonna be Ace.
And the thing is, with me, I'm really good at remembering faces, but don't ask me like the names. The names, like, because there's so many names, and I'm like, hey, buddy.
That's
good, man.
Yeah.
Because we're not good at listening sometimes too. It's like, what?
Oh, you see me on the iPad.
What did he say his name was?
I mean, Louise, who keeps us on the internet, it's unbelievable.
She's awesome. I love Louise.
Yeah. Her name's Wilson.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to pause for conference. We'll come back the second hour of the huddle. Thanks to head coach Bill Littleton, and thanks to Coach Mark Bickerton for joining us the first hour. We got more coming up second hour. We're going out to Vegas, boys. John Castellino, boxing expert. He's going to join us next. Oh, he's coming up.
Yeah.
Next hour, right here in the huddle on 840 Fox Sports Radio.